Happy birthday, Glee! You are now 15. Which is crazy because that means that now Glee is literally just as old as its target audience. Glee premiered in 2009 and the nightmare didn't stop until 2015. And just listen to the way I talk about Glee. Like, there's something so bittersweet about Glee. Are you kidding me? Like, I love this show to death, but there's so many problematic shit to call out. So I'm like, ugh, fuck Glee. Oh, I love Glee, but fuck it. I love it, but fuck it. This is not an analysis. I'm not there for that. I want you to witness the craziness on your own. If you've never seen the show, go watch it right now. So today I kind of want to look back on that show. I'm gonna use a system. I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. So we'll look at different facets of the show and using the system that's inspired from the movie by Sergio Leone. So you have the good, like the Clint Eastwood character, like it was good stuff. I like it. It was badass. Some of that stuff was really cool and good. Good job, Glee. Then you have the bad. It was like straight up problematic. Like, no boy. That did no. Why? No, thank you. Bad Glee, bad. And then you have the ugly. So the ugly is like, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it's just kind of comically atrocious, but it's funny, you know, it's funny. You're like, oh, it's funny, but yeah, ugh. Oh, seasons. The first 2 seasons of Glee are just great telly. I love it. The first 2 seasons were really camp, sure. But I think they were actually really good. I think the storylines, everything was developed beautifully. Now, the last seasons, like 4, 5, 6, if I'm not wrong, there's a 6th season, but that was just a mess. So there was like these new kids, and these new kids were just like not as charismatic. They didn't have that many interesting storylines or characteristics for anyone to really be engaged in the story. So it was just kind of like, why are we still here, you guys? The reason why we were still here is because all the characters that had graduated were all in New York. I guess there were some interesting things happening in New York, but overall, I don't know. I think they're kind of bad seasons, yeah. And the ugly, I would say 3rd. It resembles the first 2 seasons a lot, but I don't know, there was something like transitional about it and it should have felt final to me. Episodes, okay, I didn't say this wasn't going to be subjective, it completely is, but I'm gonna start by saying the pilot. I think everyone would agree with me, the pilot is an incredibly well-made episode. I think a lot of people were sold then, and I think that's why a lot of people just ended up watching Glee, because they were like, oh, the pilot is so good, and then you watch the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th episodes, and you're just like, okay, well, you know, I made it this far, so I might as well continue. Honestly, I loved every episode of the 1st season. I do also love the finale of season 1, Journey to Regionals. And it's like this whole thing where like you have this character, Quinn, who's a teen mom. Well, not yet, she's just pregnant. But it is the delivery episode. I don't really know how to explain it if you haven't seen it. Let's just say a teen girl gives birth while another group of teenagers sing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. And it's bizarrely well made and really enticing and a beautiful moment. So yeah. So another one I really like, maybe it's because I love Britney Spears, but it's the Britney episode, and like, I won't tell you the whole thing, but basically Britney Spears is the studied artist, so everyone sings Britney songs, and there's also like this whole dentist appointment, and there's one of the best duets of the show, Me Against the Music, with Santana and Britney. It's just amazing.
Get on the floor, baby, lose control. Just work your body and let it go.
Another episode that's great is one that's called Duets.
What's a duet?
A blanket.
So basically, members are teamed up, they sing some songs, and the winning duet gets a free dinner at Breadsticks, which is kind of like an Olive Garden parody. I honestly think every single song in that episode was amazing. Even the one that's like supposed to be bad, in popular opinion, I love it. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but I fuck with it so hard.
This isn't happening. Come show me your kindness.
Who
wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando?
Another guilty pleasure of mine is the Rocky Horror Glee show. Oh my god, it's really not as good. Of course not. It's not as good as the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the movie. But it's a beautiful homage and I really like it. I don't know why. I just do. And it's so inappropriate. Why are underage children doing this Broadway musical? There's no reason behind that. But it's beautiful and I love it. And I will stand behind it. And when Halloween comes around, I'm like, that would be good to watch right now. And finally, I'm gonna say for season 3, I really like the episode Props, where like every character becomes the other character. I thought that was a good acting exercise. I love it. The bad episodes, I'm gonna say every episode from season 6. Now, I was thinking, you know what, I'm gonna nuance it. I'm gonna say pretty much every episode. But then, you know, I looked at the list on IMDb and I was like, yeah, every episode. I'm sorry. Next is another one. In season 5, a Katie or a Gaga. First of all, that episode is just a mess to start with. It fuels the rivalry between Lady Gaga and Katy Perry, which I always thought was misogynistic and unnecessary, so I don't like that. First, there's a lot of problematic shit happening in that episode, other than the Gaga versus Katy Perry thing. But the most annoying thing to me is that that episode came right after The Quarterback, which is an homage episode to Corey Monteith, who passed away during Glee. It's a really sad episode. I don't want to go into detail, but it's pretty much an homage episode. And right after that, you get the most dumb, fucking unnecessary one, a Katie or Gaga. First of all, what a dumb fucking name for an episode. So no, I don't like that episode. I'm not gonna stand behind it. I don't like to complain. I do not. And I love to like vibe. I love to enjoy things. But this, I can't even find the joy in it. I can't. There's nothing positive about it. It just feels so wrong and inappropriate and out of place. Bye. The ugly, I'm gonna start with Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving episode, which, you know, most of it takes place in New York. Whatever. Okay, just a what the fuck. Let's have a Kiki. Why?
Let's have a kiki.
Mother.
I'm gonna let you have it.
That's so dumb. What? And another one, I wasn't sure, should I put it in bad or should I put it in ugly? It's Shooting Star, so it's the shooting episode. So I watched it to be like, okay, is this a sad episode? Is it like something I should take seriously? But the thing is, if you're on Twitter right now, you know that a GIF is going around of Becky pulling out the gun. And I'm like, I really shouldn't laugh. But the thing is, when you watch this episode and you know that Becky just pulled a gun for no particular reason, you can't help but, you can't take this episode seriously. And you know, that's my problem. I feel bad, but it's just hard to take seriously. And it also kind of makes a mockery of school shootings. So, Okay, let's talk characters. The Holy Trinity, I love these 3 cheerleaders so bad. Quinn, Brittany, Santana, but especially Santana. I think Santana is just like the best character. Are you kidding me? If I can just give you like one quote to summarize her, she once said,
I'm a closet lesbian and a judgmental bitch, which means one thing. I have awesome gaydar.
I also really like Mercedes, I like Kurt. I like Sugar Moda. I love her.
I'm Sugar Mata, and I self-diagnosed Asperger's, so I can pretty much say whatever I want.
I like that there was a character who was incapable of keeping a tune, because that's me. That's me. I can't hold a note. I would also say that Emma Pillsbury's pamphlets are characters of their own. I just think they're amazing. I love to just pause and read the pamphlets. Love them. Very, very witty. Now, that may be an unpopular one, but I'm gonna say Terry. Okay, that bitch was crazy. Absolutely nothing I can say can save her. But we're talking characters here, right? We're not talking morality, humanity, good peopleness. No, I'm just talking about what makes an interesting character. Terry was amazing. She was crazy, insane, obsessive, everything I love in a character. And I feel like, you know, that just characterizes every person I've ever loved in my life. And then Sue Sylvester. I mean, is there really a better character in television history? No, there isn't. The tracksuits, they added as tracksuits. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's like that's the making of an icon. That's the making of a character, and a really like impactful one. Now the bad characters, I still have to say Sue Sylvester, because she was horrible. She was horrible, like horrible. Like it was absolutely nothing good. I don't think she's ever done one good thing. She made iconic things, marrying herself, for example, iconic. But you know, she's also done terrible things. So much I can't really count. But the one that comes to mind is when she tried to basically kill a student by putting Britney in a cannon. I can't save her I can't. When I lay her war crimes like this, I can't defend her. I also didn't like Rachel. Rachel Berry is a highly competitive student, but that would have been maybe funny if she didn't get every single solo and every single bit of attention. So because of that, I think Rachel was really hard to like, but I do think it's a really good performance. Like Rachel is played by Lea Michele, and I just think, you know, amazing role there. She's not as bad as Will Schuester though. Will Schuester is actually a scum from the earth. He's horrible, he's creepy, he's just disgusting. I don't like his face. What the fuck? What the fuck? I can't. The Ugly. Random Irish exchange student. The random Christian one. The closeted homophobic athlete. Guest stars. If you watch Glee, you know there's so many guest stars. You may expect a celebrity like every other episode. Like it's a very frequent thing, to the point where I can choose the good ones and the bad ones. My favorite is still Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know why I love her so much. Like I just love Gwyneth Paltrow. Like outside of that, I think I'm not saying she's a good person. I'm just saying like she's cool. I don't know why that is. Like the whole goop, but she smokes cigarettes thing. I love that. I love the imbalance of the balance. I'm gonna say I loved her as Holly Holiday, the substitute teacher. Of course, maybe part of that is because I don't like Will Schuester. I don't like his character. So when he was replaced for the day sick, like he was about to die basically, I was like, oh, I love Holly Holiday. Ooh, a breath of fresh air. Nene Leakes, who you may know from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and you're like, what the fuck? Basically, she was a swimming coach, but she was also an Olympian.
I won this bronze damn Olympic medal in Beijing, China, for individual synchronized swimming. I bet you didn't even know there was a such thing as individual synchronized swimming.
If you've never watched the show, maybe you're like, why is Nene Leakes in Glee?
So now why am I in it?
Nene Leakes is a legend. I also knew her from all the memes she's produced from The Real Housewives. Like, you may know her from her reaction to a white fridge.
What is this, honey? I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost. And it has a white refrigerator. I was like, oh, not a white refrigerator. Girl, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey. Ooh.
For the bad, I didn't really care for Neil Patrick Harris. I'm sorry. I really like this guy, honestly, but I just, in Glee, I was like, why is he here? I don't. Also, Kristen Chenoweth was in Glee. She was actually a recurring character, but they made her a broke has-been. So I'm not accepting this. You can reshuffle, maybe try again, try another character for Kristen Chenoweth. You have Kristen Chenoweth, do something else. The Ugly, Idina Menzel. I do love the performances. I mean, Idina Menzel is like the kind of voice you never get sick of. I wasn't really a fan of Shelby, the character, like her relationship with the characters, like she was a deadbeat mother, she was dating a high schooler, like, no, not cute. Josh Groban.
Who is Josh Groban?
Who is Josh Groban? Kill yourself!
Josh Groban actually starred in Glee. I just don't remember. I was looking online, like, who guest starred in whatever? They're like, oh, Josh Groban. And I'm like, what? I don't remember that at all. So, whatever. Performances. Now, performances, we're gonna have a lot to talk about because, you know, I don't have that much to say on the performances. I'll just tell you my performances and I'll go on with my life. I do want your input on it because this is probably the most subjective one. These are all my favorites, but maybe you're like, girl, this one is really good. How did you leave that out? I totally disagree with you. Please tell me. So, I love The Boy's Mind. Mercedes and Santana's voices just melt together like butter, and it's amazing to listen to.
You need to give it up. Had about enough. He belongs to me. The boy is mine.
So same goes for River Deep Mountain High, which is another duet they've done. It's just amazing. I think I like that one better than The Boy Is Mine. And the little choreography. Oh, I love it.
I love you, my oh my, yeah. River deep, mountain high, yeah.
I'm gonna be so corny right now, but I love Lucky by Quinn and Sam. I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's so sweet.
So freaking charming.
Every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where I have been. Lucky to be coming home someday.
Rose's Turn by Kurt. All that work, what did it get me? Dun, 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 dun.
All that work and what did it get me? Why did I do it?
Obviously. What do you think I was gonna say? I actually really love Kurt's voice, so I kind of like everything he sung.
Everything's coming up, Kurt. Everything's coming up, Kurt.
Rachel, I'm gonna mention her because she has an amazing voice and she sings all the time. But my favorite is still Don't Rain on My Parade.
Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter.
Sun's a ball of butter. Love that. I love that. Good for her. Good for her. And she was really in it and like, hey, Mr. Einstein.
Hey, Mr. Einstein, here I am.
Gorgeous. Teenage Dream by Blaine. The Warblers. That's what they're called. Amazing. I loved it. So sweet. Just so sweet. Oh.
I'ma get your heart racing in my skin tight jeans. Be your teenage dream tonight.
Smooth Criminal by Santana and Sebastian. Just perfect. And they really took on the song beautifully.
Annie, are you okay?
So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Annie, are you okay? Would you tell us that you're okay?
Buster Windows by Mercedes.
For me, it's always gonna be Mercedes,
Okay.
Santana,
Oh.
then Rachel.
Wow.
Nobody's denying that that girl can sing.
But number 3.
But I bust the windows out your car?
Okay, you know what? That's
There's levels to this.
It's actually about Mercedes thinking Kurt, who is a gay character, has a crush on Rachel instead of her. So she gets really pissed and she busts his windows while she sings the Jasmine Sullivan song.
How could you do that? You busted my window. Well, you busted my heart.
I just go back to it because Amber Riley has one of the best voices of people that are alive right now. So yeah.
I bust the windows out your car. Hey, you should feel lucky that that's all I did.
Valerie by Santana, which is a cover of a cover.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself.
And I look across the water. And I think of all the things what you're doing. And in my head I paint a picture.
I think there's a lot of really good mashups as well on Glee, like Thriller, Heads Will Roll.
Don't let me hold you tight and share a killer filler.
What else? Rumor Has It and Someone Like You.
Yeah, baby. Rumor has it. Don't forget me.
So there's really good mashups as well that I think I just wanted to quickly mention. Now for the bad. Thong Song by Will Schuster. Gold Digger by Will Schuster. Ice Ice Baby by Will Schuster. Sway by Will Schuster. Tell Me Something Good by Will Schuster. I Wanna Sex You Up by Will Schuster. Danny's Song by Will Schuster. Fix You by Will Schuster. Leaving on a Jet Plane by Will Schuster. This Little Light of Mine by Will Schuster. Actually, I think I hate every single song by Will Schuster. It's just a nightmare-inducing experience every time he comes up on that screen, whether he's rapping or singing sexually explicit lyrics or dancing sensually. I just want to die right there. Can you bring back the thing I said earlier when I said I hate his face? I don't like his face. Oh my god, I totally agree with her. I totally hate his face. And for the ugly, I'm gonna say, what does the fox say? I just, you know, it was gonna, you write that song down, it's a tragedy, so just don't do it.
What does the fox say?
And I think the one that like really stuck with me, and every time I watch it I just am cringing, I just want to die, it's Push It. Like, I think it was like, yeah, it was the second episode and they're like, guys, we're sexy. And it was just like this black scent moment and this overly sexual dance by teenagers. Just, I didn't want to see that. No, thank you, bye. No, bye. Okay. Should I show it to you? I feel bad. I don't want to show it to you. I will show you a little bit. So Glee really had a chokehold on culture. I haven't experienced it firsthand because I didn't go to high school in the early 2010s, but if you have, you probably know what I'm talking about. You know that time when like scene kids, like there were scene kids, they were like the really cool like chads, like that was the time when Glee really made an impact, one no one would expect. So let's start with the good. Loser culture was on the rise. So, you know, loser culture is kind of like a bad term for it, but whether it was in 2009, kind of today as well, it's usually made up of marginalized people in high school. Yeah. So whether you are a person of color, whether you are a LGBTQ plus member of all gender appropriations and pronouns.
And non-binary people of all gender appropriations and the pronouns, everyone is included.
So Glee, I'm not saying it made all the losers cool. That's not what happened at all. But when Glee was airing, I do think that the Gleeks, you know, the people who watched and loved Glee, I think they really like found themselves in a lot of the characters. And they're like, you know what? I'm not that embarrassed to be a loser. I'm kind of proud to be a loser, actually. The bad is that representation came at a cost. Like, for example, you had Mercedes, who was kind of like the only black character. There was this one guy, Matt, but he literally didn't talk. You had Tina and Mike, who were both Asian characters. I think Tina was Korean. Mike, I don't remember. But Mike also wasn't like a big talker. And then you had Artie, who was on a wheelchair. So like, there was all this representation. A lot of people could find themselves in that. But at the same time, there was so much racism.
Could we maybe try something a little more black? It's Glee Club, not Crunk Club. Oh, you don't speak English. You like me sing. You like me sing very much. I'm the only person in this room who can play Sandy.
Why? Because you're white?
Okay, I wouldn't dream of being Miss Saigon or Black Dorothy from The Wiz.
And there was so much ableism.
Cupcake? These cupcakes suck, so I'm not selling any.
It's not about the cupcakes, it's about us. Nobody wants to buy from losers. We're in Glee Club and in wheelchairs.
And the way they portray eating disorders is horrifying.
Marty, stop! Why are you doing that?
What do you think?
She hasn't been eating. She's been skipping lunch.
Is that because you've been telling her to? You trying to turn her into a damn Rexy?
You know, they didn't really know how to handle that representation that well. So it's kind of like, okay, it was good to have that kind of representation back then, but at the same time, it's like you will be represented, but you will also be racially profiled. The ugly, I would say, like the Billboard charting, so random. Like, why were people listening to the covers? Like, I don't get that. I'm sorry. I'm sure a lot of you do, but I don't get it. The few I do get is like, oh, they're old songs and people like the cover of it. Like, for example, Don't Stop Believing, I kind of get it. I kind of get it because it's a really symbolic song to the show. But still, that chart is so fucking high. Like, what the fuck? Why were people listening to Don't Stop Believing on their iPods? I have beef with that. And also, there was a show that came along with Glee that was called the Glee Project, and it was just random, and I don't think Glee should be involved with reality television. I just think it made a shit pile of that show, so. Storylines. Okay, so this one, I think a lot of the storylines of Glee are really weird. I wouldn't say necessarily bad, but a lot of them are really weird. But I do think there are some good ones that like still stuck with me. For example, the Trouble Tones, which takes place mostly in season 3, where you have Santana and Mercedes. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired of being secondary voices in the Glee Club when they have amazing voices. And Rachel takes all the fucking solos, and Finn takes all the fucking duets with Rachel, and they're just like, no, thank you. We're gonna take that woman Shelby, and we're gonna make a group, a girl group, and there's also Brittany in that group, and there's also Sugar Moda, and it's an amazing storyline of girl power. I loved it so much. So I'm gonna stick with it. I think it gave us some of the best performances, like Candyman, Cell Block Tango from Chicago, so I really, really liked it. Yeah. Also, another one I really like, it's the first season pretty much exclusively. You have Terry, who's pretending to be pregnant, and you have Quinn, who's a teenager who is pregnant, and you see these two stories intertwined. Like, for example, I think Terry wanted to purchase Quinn's unborn baby, and you just see like that woman's insanity with that woman's distress combining together. I think it's interesting and most of the time really funny. Okay, so the bad is really bad. Like, the bad is really bad. So first of all, you have Rachel Berry, who has this competitor from the Philippines, Sunshine Corazon. Amazing voice, by the way, amazing voice. Rachel felt threatened, and she sent that poor girl to a crack house.
She could have died. Oh, I didn't send her to an active crack house.
And that was just like a casual thing to mention, and we just moved along. That was like, excuse me. Another one is Will Schuester has this pattern of getting really pissed when students don't want to strip naked for the choir club.
Also, Miss Pillsbury, is there a way I could wear like some gold board shorts or something? These are really short, and I'm afraid I'm gonna show off some nuttage.
Well,
we'll take a note. We can't stop, guys. It's a dress rehearsal. Come on, keep going.
And he was so creepy. And that's just one of the storylines that are like, oh my god, so you were creepy like consistently. No. The ugly, I would say the whole puppet thing, the Muppet episode, no, bye. When we figured out that Will Schuester didn't even speak Spanish as a Spanish teacher. So basically his place as a teacher was jeopardized. I'm like, oh my god, we could have had a chance to get rid of him, you know? This one, I know a lot of you Gleeks that are watching this video were waiting for it. I'm gonna talk ships, okay? I'm gonna talk about all the beautiful love stories of that show. Now, for the good ones, it's gonna be pretty basic, but Klain, so Kurt and Blame, Bachana, which is Brittany and Santana. And okay, don't kill me, but I'm gonna say Finchel, so Finn and Rachel. Were kind of like the main couple, but I think it was overall like a good couple, and I think they really like matched each other. They really balanced each other's personalities. The bad, I'm gonna say Blaine dated Karofsky, bullied his ex Kurt, actively ruined his life, made him switch schools. He was casually dating that guy. And also Puck and Shelby. What do you mean you're dating the teacher who adopted your daughter? No, I don't like that. And yeah, for the ugly, I'm gonna say every relationship with Puck. It was just like, he didn't like any of the girls he was dating. He dated Rachel Berry at one point, which a lot of people call Puckerberry, I think. That was just disingenuous. And same goes with his relationship with Mercedes. He was like, I just need to be popular. And it was like, what? Same thing with that girl, Lauren. He did not care for these girls. He just dated them. I just didn't like that. I was like, ugh, that's so useless and manipulative. Now I'm gonna end the video with the behind the scenes, because Glee is not just what you see on screen, especially now. It's almost 10 years since the show has ended, so we know a lot of shit about the show. There's some good stuff that happened. We know there's a lot of success stories associated to Glee. For example, Ryan Murphy, who wrote and directed some of the episodes, he went on to make so many shows that you probably know and maybe love as well. American Horror Story, Scream Queens, Pose. They're all shows that people really love and enjoy. And I think Glee was really like the beginning of his career, and it was like a really fun thing to witness, you know? You also have, Leah Michelle, who played Rachel Berry, did have this whole storyline of wanting to be, to play funny girl on Broadway, and she actually is playing funny girl on Broadway right now, so that's cool. Chris Colfer, the actor of Kurt Hummel, became a prolific author after Glee, like, period. And there's a lot of CW stars that came out of it. You know, you have this huge cast, and it's fun that a lot of them became successful. Now, the bad. So you do have a certain cast member that was accused of being a racist. I'm not gonna say who though. I'm not, okay? There's 3 cast members that died either during Glee or shortly after Glee. So this, you know, started this thing that a lot of people called the Glee curse, and a lot of misery porn came out of that. Instead of what we should have done, commemorating these people, I especially want to say, like, rest in peace to Corey Monteith and to Naya Rivera. Naya Rivera, you know, is one actress I particularly liked. Now, for the ugly, that certain cast member who might be racist also might not be able to read. I'm not gonna say who though. I'm not gonna say who. So that's it. Celebrated it, you guys. Good job. Pull out the balloons. Do I have a cheap effect for the balloons? I'd love that. Balloon. Woo. What else can I add? Can I add some fireworks? Please add some fireworks. What else? Can I add the birthday song in the background? Na, 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 na. Please, let me do that. Because I have another thing to say. I want to thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers. I don't really understand why you guys were so nice to me. There was so much love on the Pop Bibles video. There was so much positive feedback. I got pretty much great feedback on it. You guys were so constructive, and that was just so sweet. Thank you so much. We got 1,000 likes on the last video. It's crazy. I cannot understand these numbers. Like, they're way too big of numbers. I know people have millions out there. I know there are billions of stars. But for me, that's so much already. 500 subscribers, are you fucking kidding me? So thank you so much if you watched this entire video, and I will be replying to your comments if you have any. So yeah, you can follow me on Instagram as well. I don't really post anything, so it's just to possibly see more of my looks, more of me looking fierce. Yeah, and yeah, tell me if there's anything else you want to talk about, any other topics, any other reflections you have on Glee, because it's quite the show. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking around.